There's a lot of controversy recently with Jimin's dad's cafe, and this is blending into Jimin's life because, of course, anything that happens at the cafe is going to involve Jimin. People also believe that Jimin was spotted with Song Dae-yoon recently, as well as RM losing millions in money. So he dumped his debut site. Let's get into it. RM recently donated to the Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs. RM donated around 100 million Korean won, which translates to about 70,000 US dollars. And on the website of the ministry, and any information that RM was made aware of, the money was allowed to go to specific divisions of the ministry and whatever he wanted. And this was something that seemingly he wanted to do. And the specific division he wanted to help was soldiers who were actively serving, and this includes any public servants, so firefighter, police officer, and that sort of stuff. And they were going to help those people who, as I said, were actively serving, as well as those who were just coming out of the military, who might need assistance transitioning into their new jobs or whatever. The ministry took that money, and it seemed like they did the advertising and promotion with it, which actually then raised an additional 1 billion Korean won, which is about 700,000 US dollars. So in total, we have about 770,000, which is a huge chunk of change and would definitely make a huge difference, at least to several people's lives, I would imagine. But with inflation nowadays, you never know, right? This was such a good thing that he did, and it was something that wasn't really widely picked up on by the community. Now, this is where things get really shady, because it wasn't just that he donated and then a good story, happy ending. Apparently, it turned out that the ministry was allegedly unable to designate the money to specific departments or areas that anyone would request. So even though allegedly that was something they advertised, it wasn't something that they could actually follow through with. Now, we're not talking about a little bit of money here, and even if it was just RM's donation, we're still not talking about a little bit of money. There's many reasons to make a donation to charity. It could be that RM had spoken with a bunch of soldiers prior to leaving, and he realized that this was an issue that everyone was struggling with and wanted to contribute in some way. Or it could be that alongside the desire to get some sort of tax break. Now, this sounds really bad because it just sounds like they're just trying to get a tax write-off. But that's not entirely true. When you pay your taxes, and I'm sure most of you are very aware of this, you don't know where that money is going towards. You hope that it's going towards fixing things, but then you look at your street and there's potholes everywhere. So what exactly is the money really going towards? If you had the money at the end of the year and you knew that the money that you were going to be giving to the government was going to them and wasn't going to fix anything that you felt needed fixing, why not take the money yourself and donate it towards a cause that you actually feel strongly about? And it can go directly towards helping that and probably would make a bigger difference to that. New York City has a ton of homeless people, and every year, at the end of the year, I have to choose if I want to pay taxes to the government or if I want to donate some of that money to a homeless shelter, which is something that I'm really passionate about. And I'll typically do that and pay less taxes. It's the government's way of allowing you to designate your own money somewhere. But among these donations that you might choose to donate towards, you should still have a say in where that money goes towards. And it's not to say that RM doesn't care about the other departments or wouldn't want to donate towards these other departments, but if he made a promise or he felt like he really wanted to give money to a specific place, or he is donating a specific amount of money, he should be able to be allowed to designate or tell it where to go. It was then reported that it wasn't possible for the ministry to designate anything because what they typically do is they take the money and they put it in this big pool, and there's no guarantee how the pool is going to be used. It's just going to be used for the organization. While that, of course, I guess makes sense, and of course you can imagine things don't always work out how you would imagine, this seems like a really easy fix for the organization to do. I would imagine if there was some sort of paperwork or some type of signage that was on the check that RM wrote to the organization, it would be pretty easy to just look at that check and say, okay, so this is only going to be used for that thing. But then maybe they don't have a particular person running that department or someone that would be in charge of treasury. I don't know. A lot of this was reported by JTBC, and some of this was, of course, my opinion, so take it all with a grain of salt. But that's all we have for this story as of late, and of course, if there's any updates, I will let you know on that. Since the dating rumor with Song Dae-yoon and Jimin had come out, people don't know what to do with themselves, and a lot of people, I guess, are trying to be supportive and or maybe are fully supportive and thus trying to create AI images of both of them together. Now, I can't tell if this is fully support and an attempt to be supportive, or if this is an attempt to make Jimin look bad. Some of the images are images that look very real because obviously it's AI and it's gotten to that point. And we have images that also look like CCTV footage. We have images that look like fans snapped a picture of it. We have images of them hanging out at night, and there's just an endless supply of these images. These images can be generated within half an hour, so now people are able to get these photos without needing amazing Photoshop skills, which the community wasn't lacking ever before to begin with, but now they really don't need it. These orders are obviously a little bit controversial. Many are not happy with how the two are being portrayed and have asked the label and several other people involved with the two artists to take legal action on these photos. We're still in the very early stages of AI and all that stuff, and at this point it's extremely difficult to do legal things, and I imagine a lot of this stuff is still within the legal works and it's not fully passed through yet. There's an interesting line in which this AI law could cross. Things like fan edits and fan created photos, would that be allowed if it was not AI created? So we have fan edit photos that happen to be some of the most popular things that the community likes to do. Would none of those photos be allowed to be created anymore if AI was stopped? Because what is the difference here? So it's not always as black and white as just ban AI pictures or ban fan edits, because the government can't just put the wording in there that makes it sound like fan edits would get banned too. They also have to understand where the implication of banning such photos would lead to. So is it now just AI recreation photos that are not allowed in general? Like even if a celebrity were to do that for themselves, is that not allowed? So they really have to figure out with this, and I think we will get to a point eventually where this becomes a non-issue anymore. But I think right now the laws are just kind of set at like sexualizing a celebrity or creating adult content with the celebrity's face. But I don't think there's any laws in general with just pictures that are being made. There's a lot of conversation also with Jimin's dad's cafe. If you're not sure what that is, it's a cafe that's located in Busan called Magnate that has been renamed Z Millennial. The cafe is great, and of course the cafe had to have a lot of Jimin memorabilia, and there's things like awards, and of course also a section in which the community can come and create a shrine for Jimin, so gifts, fan edits, photos. They can just leave it there, and it's presumed that Jimin will at least see it. Especially since Jimin's birthday just passed, it was believed that a lot of people went to the cafe to celebrate and was really excited to partake in this celebration. I don't know what the cafe did or if they did any events there, but I think that's so cool and such a cool place for the community to feel closer to Jimin. During Jimin's celebration at the cafe, there was a girl who apparently did a live stream at the cafe and left a photo that was edited of Jimin and Song Dae-yoon together. This was put on the shrine and it was a book, but it was left open to that edited photo. And of course, that garnered a lot of controversy as people were not happy about that, presuming that Jimin's going to see this, right? And that's going to be something that might be upsetting to him. People are calling this harassment towards Jimin and saying that he should not be allowed to see this, or this should not be allowed in general, or the family shouldn't allow this. And I don't know about harassment. I think that that's going a bit far. I think a lot of people just don't want to be reminded of that rumor, and so it just upsets them because it reminds them of that. But I don't think this falls under harassment. People are also saying that the family should remove this or whatever it is, and we don't know what they did with this photo. Maybe the father saw it and removed it, so I can't say that no action was taken. But while I don't personally believe this is a huge deal because it's just a photo, and it's not even an unpleasant looking photo or anything like that. It's not like a bad angle of Jimin, right? It could be a lot worse. It could be a death threat that someone put there. But I will say it was definitely inappropriate. And what I'm upset about is obviously not what the community is upset about. I think it's inappropriate, obviously, to put shipping photos there and edit relationship photos there. And I think that's something that's a little bit weird. But also, if you truly believe that they were together, then we have to talk about the fact that there was a circulated statement that I don't even know if I fully believe even, but there was that statement that implied that the two are not together anymore. So what would probably make Jimin uncomfortable is if he had been priorly in that relationship and had gone on dates before, and now he's seeing that people are talking about it. That would make him uncomfortable because that would now be considered his ex, or at least a prior situationship, whatever it was. And people are still shipping him with that person. I mean, I don't even like it when my friends bring up old friends that I'm no longer friends with, let alone any sort of relationship. I can totally imagine or see that that would be really uncomfortable. And again, that is if they were together, but we still haven't proven that yet. And if the two had no romantic connection at all, then this photo definitely shouldn't make anyone uncomfortable, right? It means nothing. Is this harassment? No. A little bit annoying and maybe uncomfortable if it was true, probably. However, if there was any sort of falling out between the two, or any sort of bad blood that the two might have had, although I doubt it, then chances are the father would know, and chances are it would have been thrown out and Jimin would have never seen it. So at that point, then talking about it and making several viral tweets about it is what's really going to make Jimin uncomfortable, because then he might actually see it. So if he didn't before, he'll see it now. So just a thought there. And I guess I'm talking about it as well, so maybe I'm not a great person either. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you check out Patreon. I'll leave a link at the top of the description. Thank you to this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.